In the previous episode, it was mentioned that the Star of Bethlehem might actually be a flying saucer. Now, in this episode, we'll continue discussing the Talmud Jmmanuel. After Jesus was born, his upbringing is not extensively documented in the Bible. However, according to some information from Billy Meyer, it is claimed that Jesus had encounters with extraterrestrial beings during his upbringing. According to a portion of the Bible, Jesus fasted in the wilderness for 40 days and 40 nights before he began his ministry and was tempted by the devil. According to the accounts in the Talmud Jmmanuel, during these 40 days, some extraterrestrial beings led Jesus to a place inhabited by many extraterrestrial beings. The specific location is unknown, but it could possibly be somewhere on Earth. Quoting from the Talmud Jmmanuel, it states, "These two men from the constellation of the 7 stars were venerable teachers, and they were together with 2 smaller men who said that they were from Bawi." This indicates the presence of 2 additional smaller extraterrestrial beings who claim to be from the star Bawi. It is quite interesting, and I have come across similar information from other UFO contactees, which also suggests that there are indeed extraterrestrial beings from the star Bawi. This interconnection between different sources adds an intriguing aspect to the discussion. However, this is a digression from the main topic. Let me continue with the story of Jesus. Besides encountering extraterrestrial beings, Jesus actually spent many years in India during his upbringing. He studied the teachings of Buddhism there. After completing his studies, he returned to Jerusalem to begin his ministry. His purpose was to challenge the prevailing practices of Judaism, which instilled fear in the Jewish religious leaders. The elders of the Jewish community attempted to kill him and persuaded Pontius Pilate, the Roman governor of Jerusalem at the time, to find him guilty. However, Pilate was reluctant to do so as he found no evidence of wrongdoing by Jesus under Roman law. Nevertheless, the Jewish elders insisted on his execution, and he was ultimately crucified. After Jesus was crucified for about 1 or 2 days, he had many friends in Jerusalem, including wealthy locals, came to see him on the cross. They saw Jesus hanging with his head lowered. They spoke to the Roman soldiers and said that he was already dead, requesting permission to bury Jesus. A Roman soldier pierced Jesus' side with a spear, and blood and water flowed out. According to Roman experience, the flow of water indicated that the person was already dead. The Roman soldiers found this strange because death usually takes longer. They reported the situation to their superiors, who said that since he was dead, Jesus' friends should bury him in an appropriate place. So, the soldiers took down the body and handed it over to Jesus' friends for burial. One of Jesus' wealthy friends had prepared a tomb for himself, and they placed Jesus' body in that tomb. The Roman soldiers sealed the tomb with a large stone because there were rumors that Jesus would resurrect. The Jewish elders were afraid that someone might steal his body and spread false stories of his resurrection. They requested the Roman government to assign soldiers to guard the tomb and seal it with a large stone. However, they were unaware that there was a back entrance, a tunnel that led into the tomb. Only the owner of the tomb knew about this back entrance. The tomb owner led Jesus and some of his friends, including those skilled in medicine whom he had met in India, through the back entrance to rescue Jesus. They entered the tomb through the back entrance and left together, escaping from being pursued. 3 days later, an angel or alien arrived at the tomb, rolled away the stone, and entered. Jesus' mother Mary and Mary Magdalene, who was a friend of Jesus, is believed by some to have been a prostitute. According to information from a former missionary I know, Mary Magdalene was not a prostitute, although I won't go into detail about it here. If the audience is interested, I can provide more information another time. Going back to the story, they prepared to retrieve Jesus' body. However, when they entered the tomb, they found only a folded cloth, and Jesus' body was missing. They were deeply saddened, thinking that someone had taken the body. When they walked out of the tomb, they saw the angels or aliens. He spoke a phrase that is also mentioned in the Bible: "Why do you seek the living among the dead?" Present-day biblical interpretations and church views suggest that Jesus was resurrected. But there are also other interpretations, such as the idea that he never actually died. Regardless, they were instructed by the alien to go back to the city and that Jesus would meet them later. As they walked a distance, they encountered another shining alien. Mary Magdalene wanted to touch this radiant alien because it was captivating. But the alien immediately warned them not to approach as it had an energy field protecting it. Coming into contact with the energy field would result in death, much like getting electrocuted. So, the reason for its radiance was to protect itself. After a few days, Jesus appeared before the disciples. One of the disciples named Thomas did not believe in Jesus' resurrection and wanted to personally touch and see the wounds on Jesus' hands, feet, and side. These wounds made me doubtful when I was young because if he had truly been resurrected, his body should have been perfect and without any wounds. After Jesus had conversations with his disciples and left, the biblical accounts end. According to the Bible, Jesus ascended to heaven. However, in reality, Jesus did not ascend to heaven, but continued to stay in Jerusalem for many years until his Father passed away. Jesus, along with his mother, siblings and one of his disciples left Jerusalem and migrated north. Can you guess which disciple it was? It was Judas. According to the story in the Talmud Jmmanuel, Judas betrayed Jesus and eventually committed suicide. According to this story, it was not Judas, one of Jesus' disciples, who betrayed him, but another man named Judas, the son of a Pharisee. This Judas met Jesus and then revealed his identity to the Roman soldiers. Interestingly, the surname of this Pharisee's son was Ihariot, which is very similar to the surname Iscariot of Jesus' disciple, Judas. In fact, this issue has troubled me for a long time because I am deep understanding in the Bible. In reality, there is a question: do you know what role Judas played among all the disciples? He was the accountant, responsible for managing finances. It's a simple logic. Would you entrust money management to a dishonest person? It's quite obvious, so when you say Judas betrayed Jesus, I actually find this explanation problematic. However, when I asked the church, the usual response was that he lost faith. Time has come for now. We will continue discussing Talmud Jmmanuel in the next episode. Stay tuned. Thank you for watching.